Regular followers of my blog will know that I love an ICONIQ Capital report. They provide great insight for anyone in a go-to-market role. And they've just published a AI specific report. And I'm going to walk you through some of the key learnings from that right now. It's called The State of AI, and it focused on 250 or so executives at companies that turn over more than $500 million a year. So these are large organizations that they have interviewed. It's a broad range of industries. So only about 33% of the companies that they interviewed were in the technology space, others quite broad across different industries. And 91% of the people that they interviewed was from a US headquartered company, with 9% in the UK and then a couple of percent from other organizations. I'm going to walk you through some of the graphics and charts that I found most interesting now, but I highly recommend that you go to the link at the bottom here, iconiqcapital.com, and go and look for the full report and download it for yourself. First off, why is it that executives are driving AI into their organizations? Well, the report showed that there were really three main areas, and they tend to fall quite sequentially. So the first reason is about just improving employee productivity. With the employee base we've got, can we help people to be more effective in their roles? Having done that, we then move on to, well, how can we use that to increase the efficiency of the overall business? Now, is that by reducing our need to hire new people because our existing employees are more effective? Or is it actually reducing our employee base and our payroll because now we can automate many of our processes and not require humans for basic business tasks, basic administration, basic analysis, content creation, and so on. And then the third part of this process is really where the core value of generative AI comes from, which is about creating new and improved value propositions that we can charge more for from our customers. With 1 and 2, employee productivity and operational efficiency, there is a natural floor. You can only cut so much. But with growing revenue, we can really transform the revenues that we're getting from our customers in new and interesting ways. AI budgets are in existence. They are AI budgets that people can get hold of, and they are growing. Here you can see the spread across different sizes of companies. But of all of the respondents, they said that in 2025, their budgets will be 22% on average higher than they are here. So these budgets are growing. But where are they coming from? Well, the majority of these AI budgets are coming from an existing budget. So that might be an R&D budget if people are looking at developing new tools, new services for their customers. It might be coming from an innovation budget. A smaller amount of people are coming from new budgets. So they actually created a new AI budget, for example. So if you're looking at how you're going to create your own budget, have a look across the existing budgets that you've got, either R&D or innovation, or in individual business units, and then also think about creating new budgets that can be dedicated to this use case. AI, as I always say, is not a technology change. It is an organizational change. It's a process change. It's a people change. And this plays out when you ask people, well, who is in the decision-making role when it comes to deciding about AI-related decisions? The CTO, maybe a CIO, is up there at the top, as you'd expect, because it's technology. But very quickly, you get into a new role, a chief AI officer or head of AI, and the CEO, because this is an executive, a C-level imperative. It's very important to understand that when you're selling into these organizations, that this is the CEO and the C-suite that are making these decisions. Maybe last year, 2023, and even in the start of this year, many people would say, a lot of people are talking about AI, but it's all hype. It's all just POCs and nothing's actually getting into production. Well, 2024 and on into 2025 is where that changes. On the left here, you can see that 60% of AI budget is being allocated to a defined use case that is actually being used by people either internally in the company or externally. And this is a massive increase on where it has been previously. When respondents are asked, well, what use cases are driving the ROI? The most common one that people always talk about is customer service. Well, can we automate and optimize the contact center through AI-powered chatbots and automated ticket closing for our customers? There have been some great, well-published stories, Klarna being one, using ChatGPT to reduce significantly the number of human-related customer service inquiries. But increasingly, this is moving into other areas of the business. Here we've got IT, operations, and we're also starting to see now, it would be over to the right of this chart, but financial use cases, legal use cases, HR use cases that are delivering tangible returns to the business. When it comes to the actual technology that companies are using, we live in a multi-model world. When you select a CRM system or you select a payroll system, typically you're going to pick one and you're going to stick with it for a number of years. But that is not the way that things work with AI and LLM models. It is typical that an organization will have multiple models and they'll swap them in and out depending on the specific use case. Now, whilst there are many models, OpenAI is definitely the leader in this space. And you can see 82% of respondents have got an OpenAI, a ChatGPT model that's in production. Next up, you've got Google. And while this is why this is interesting is that, as we know, distribution is king. Microsoft, back in the early days of the browser wars, showed how having access to a large distribution channel can win a market, even if your product might not be the best. So Google here has got huge distribution through their domination of search and through Android. So definitely one to watch. Third on the list is Meta. You may remember them as Facebook, but Meta's open source Llama model. Mark Zuckerberg believes that the future of AI is open source, and a huge amount of investment is going into the development of Llama for those companies that don't want to be locked into a proprietary model. Further down, you've got Anthropic, Mistral, and Cohere. Cohere is a very enterprise-focused model, and so I expect to see that increase in its percentage adoption as time moves on. Now, it's not just about the models. You can't just bring ChatGPT or Claude into your organization. You need to surround it with the right governance, the right data, the right tools to ensure that your AI strategy is safe, protected, and compliant with your organization's policies and processes. And an entire ecosystem of new vendors is popping up to support companies in this journey. Specifically, looking at databases, you may well have lots of databases, but you're going to hear about vectorized databases that take your unstructured data and then chunk it up so that it can be used in your AI models. Further along, you've got agent tool frameworks. You're going to hear a lot about AI agents in future. Not just a chat response that can give you an answer, but an agent that can take action on what it suggests. And so you're going to need frameworks and tooling that is going to support building these multi-agent tools. So keep an eye on all of these different components as you build out your architecture. And then the final part of the report that I found really interesting, there are 4 or 5 of these function spotlights. And in this example, it's AI in finance. They've got one for marketing, one for sales, one for customer support, a few others. And What I find very valuable here is the use cases on the left-hand side. What are these impactful use cases in finance? Well, if you're in finance, if you're a financial controller, you've got to close the books at the end of the month. You've got to manage your cash. You've got to prepare your tax reports. These are the things that people are doing already today. And if you can take the business process to the AI, you can create huge value for the people that are working in those roles. And it's something that I always recommend. Instead of going and teaching the business functions about AI, teach your AI team about the business and what they're trying to do, and you'll get some quick impact. So that's a very quick run through some of the key learnings from this report, but that just scratches the surface of what this report covers. So I highly recommend go to this link, and I'll put it in the notes of this YouTube video. Download it and share it widely amongst your senior executives, because I think it will inspire you with what other people are doing in terms of their budgets and the value they're getting. But if you're slow to start, it might be that kick that you need to start learning and investing in adopting AI across your organization.